Hey guys, Foxy's Trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and we are back talking about ICP. Now today's video, I really want to dive deep on market structure and how price is moving, because I feel like there's a lot of things to talk about. There is many zones that are happening and there's some manipulation that happened, so I kind of just want to break it down for all of you today. Now before I pull up the chart, I do just want to show you guys one thing that is kind of related to what I talked about in last week's video. And in last week's video, I mentioned how ICP is at the top of the list when it comes to transactions, right? I think in that video, it was either weekly transactions or monthly transactions. They were at the top of the list. And then also by social activity, they were at the top of the list. Now you can see here, top layer 1 chains by daily transaction count, and ICP is at the top. Solana is close behind it, and I actually like Solana relatively compared to other cryptos. I think it is a good project, but just comparing ICP, right, to a bunch of other ones like Stellar, Tron, Aptos, Polygon, Near, it is definitely ahead of the curve, and that's always good to see, right? These kind of data charts, they're always good to see. Now, let's look at CoinMarketCap before we pull up the chart. So we are down in price. I think this has to do a lot with the manipulation that happened. Down in market cap, down in volume, 83% bullish on the community sentiment, and on all the big exchanges. So I talked about this manipulation that happened, right? And maybe some of you are wondering what manipulation. Well, last week on Sunday, Bitcoin, right? This was Sunday evening, Thanksgiving weekend. Banks are closed, institutions are closed, trading hours are officially closed, right? And we get this entire move to the downside. We go from 91K pretty much to 86K, right? Just like that. And what is this? This is just pure manipulation from the market makers, from the people that are at the top of the game that want to make money, right? What did they do? They liquidated the market. They took everybody that was in long positions out here. They swept everybody out. They also took their shorts because we saw the data and the statistics on how many exchanges took shorts in this period. And it's so funny because why are they taking shorts at such a strange time? Well, maybe because this is a calculated move, right? And I have said this in the past. I'm going to say this in the future. And I'm going to always say this, that the markets are manipulated. We are just pawns on the chessboards, and they are the queens and they are the kings controlling what happens, okay? And we just have to adapt. So they made their money. They liquidated the market. They did what they had to do. Right? And then they took their profits in this area, and then the market just rebalanced itself organically, because usually when there is a big manipulation move, price will eventually rebalance itself like it usually does, right? This push down, rebalance. Okay. So let's bring it back to ICP now. So what do we see? Well, if we go to Sunday, likewise, you can see we had the push to the downside, right? That manipulation. And then we rebalance, but now we are headed back down. Okay. So let's break it down on the larger time frame for all the new people that haven't watched what I have marked up. In this area, this purple zone, that is a resistance zone. If we break it down onto the daily time frame, actually 4-hour time frame, we have this 4-hour imbalance in price, where price tested in the past, right? And eventually broke through. So we knew a push to the downside was coming. Awesome. Now, if we take that away, because it's going to just mess things up. Nope. There we go. So if we take that away, right? And we're looking at price. Now we have to dive deeper in and find our next zone. So we have this 4-hour fair value gap, right? This imbalance in price. And this was basically in between that other imbalance, if you guys remember before I took it away. So what do we see? We see price literally perfectly tap into this zone twice before giving us the push to the downside. And we have been trading to the downside, right? you can see very, very clearly we have our highs, and then we have our lows, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Trend to the downside, very, very easy to spot out. Okay, so we have been trending to the downside in a downwards formation. Did we want to see this? Of course we did not. We were hoping that we were going to close above this daily or this 4-hour fair value gap, and we're going to get a push to the upside. Didn't happen. So now we have to adapt and see where price can go into the future. Okay. Is there any zones in this area that would make sense? This area eventually, when it closes above, could be a strong area, right? Yes, we did close above, but instantly we push back down. So I wouldn't even consider this a break. And then we see we tested it once again before giving us a massive push to the downside. So in the future, we can use this zone as an important closure above to possibly give us a momentum shift to the upside. Now, if we look at the daily zone right over here, what can we see? Can you guys see the zone that I see instantly that makes sense to me, where price is probably headed? Right over here, right? Daily fair value gap, a daily imbalance in price. We have seen price has tested it, and it gave us an instant reaction. However, we are trending down, right? This is on the daily time frame, and you can very clearly see we have our highs, we have our lows, trend to the downside, right? So what do we think is going to happen now? Well, I think we are going to get back into this zone and then most likely respect it and give us a push back to the upside. Is it possible we go for the sweep of liquidity once again? Absolutely, right? So where is that sweep? We had this sweep right over here, and we did sweep it. And after the sweep, we got the push up, and that was when I called it, right? And that was a beautiful, beautiful play. Some of you got in on that. Very, very awesome to see. Some of you sold maybe on the top over here and maybe looking to rescale in. Okay. Now, maybe some of you are asking yourselves or wanting to ask me, well, we have this strong liquidity right over here, right? Because this is our strongest low. Why is this our strongest low? Because it swept all previous liquidity and has not been swept in the future, right? So this is where price could go to. This is also that manipulation candle that we had the one day where everything absolutely tanked. And a lot of cryptos have rebalanced it. Some haven't. Some won't. Some will, right? So it's really unsure. Do I want ICP to go this low to $2? It's not ideal. And I say it's not ideal, not because I am worried that it's going to tank even further down. No, no, no. I am worried because going back all the way down here means another correction to the upside, which is going to take extra time. Now, if in a perfect world I had a crystal ball and I knew that sweeping this liquidity would mean that all the buyers would get in and the push back up would be very strong, yes, that's what I would want, right? I would buy up here and then look for the sweep up. Regardless, in a scenario where price gets to $2 and sweeps this area, I will have longs prepared. I will have investment plays prepared, and I'll have a leverage trade prepared, because that is such a fantastic discounted zone for ICP. I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that. Okay. But as of right now, we have to look what we have ahead of us. And ahead we have this daily fair value gap. And if we continue going down in the way we are, right, we are most likely going to go down, possibly sweep liquidity. Now, it's going to be very interesting to see, do we want to close below? If we get a closure below this daily fair value gap, very, very possible that liquidity at $2 will be swept. So my game plan would be like this. Wait and see how price reacts in this area. If it holds it and starts closing above and we start making higher highs and higher lows, okay, we know that once again, this is a strong area. It is safe. If there is a very large amount of selling pressure, right? Let's say we get 2 candles that just go like this. All right. I could even understand why some people would take a short sell here, right? A sell down into this area and then a buy. So I will be looking out for $2. And then I will also be looking at this zone. And that's what I want you guys to also be looking at. And then obviously, we're going to have to look at this zone when the time comes, right? When we start making our higher highs and see does it want to respect it or close below and give us a further momentum shift to the upside. So what else can we have a look at? We can have a look at the RSI. So RSI is actually slightly below the middle mark, right? Slightly below equilibrium. That's what we call the middle in trading, equilibrium. And it could possibly go down a little bit to be slightly oversold. And that could be in this area or a sweep of this liquidity. So it could be interesting to see really how price wants to move in the next couple of days. On the daily, however, we are oversold, and we have been oversold because we have got a major push to the downside for the last, I would say, 2 weeks, right? So we need to just pay attention and see what the market gives us. Now you guys know my view. It's always a waiting game, right? It's always a confirmation game for me, at least. Confirmation here, buy here. Respect here, close above, confirm, buy here. Very, very simple to me. That's how I see the market moving. And let's see if it follows how I see it fit. So if you guys enjoyed this price action market analysis recap on ICP, like always, like the video up, comment if you have any questions or concerns at all, comment ICP to the moon. Hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I am not a financial advisor. And I'll see everybody in the next video.